Alright, today's topic is arranged marriage and it's involved with me. Now my mate's here, Mayan, he's in toilet, he's been in toilet for like 10 minutes, so I guess I'll talk about the story before we get to the arguments, because Mayan, he knows the story. Anywho, so last week, my aunt just out of the sudden said to me, Will, I know you don't want to get married or anything, but there's this girl that we've been holding on behind your back 10 years ago. And this girl, she is my cousin, but not blood related. She's a adopted girl. I met this girl when I was 21. My 2012 trip to China just to visit my grandpa, but also somehow I met this girl because family, you have to meet each family members, right? And the family member over there said, "Hey Will, what do you think of this girl? Date this girl? Marry this girl?" And to my mind, I said to myself, is this some parents or like family joke around, like saying, you should marry my daughter or you should marry my son? I thought it's like one of those, that sort of joke. But until last week, my aunt told me it's not. My grandma's last grief, before she passed away, is wanting this girl to have the best education and wanted that girl to marry me, or I marry her, whatever anyway it is. And by doing that, my father and my aunties are pretty much giving money to this girl to have one of the best education. And I know, for me to understand it right now, her grief, wanting her to marry me, or I marry her, it was a setup like long time before. I think probably I was 12 years old or 10 years old. And my grandma passed away when I was 16. So, Zane knows me, I always talk about this. I don't want to get married. I'm very, very negative about marriage, but we'll get some clean air about it, and there's some intro about the topic. And I'm shocked to hear that I'm engaged. I'm really, really shocked. Well, not engaged, but arranged marriage. I am so shocked. You have no idea what's it like to be in my mind. In Chinese culture, it's not that common to have arranged marriage. But back in the days, yes, but not in today's society. But for me to get hooked up and everything. So man, you can sit here, it's alright. I'll just talk about the intro, about the whole story. And the reason why I'm making this video is not to show you guys I'm gonna get married, or I changed my mind to get married, or anything along the line. I felt like arranged marriage is very taboo, and I felt like it needs to be taught. I never seen anything like it. I never saw any of my family members got into arranged marriage. Apparently this guy, family members have been arranged marriage, and it's great for me to express how I feel and share with his knowledge and man's knowledge. He's playing his phone, as always. That for me to grow up in the Western society, we tend to talk bad about the downside of different cultures' tradition. For example, marry a girl in a very young age, which is considered as less than a pedophile, or things like that. Or arranged marriage is bad for you, don't do that, or make jokes of different cultures doing arranged marriage, or something like, you kind of get what I'm trying to say. And May and Nick, you can sit here, all good, right here and everything. I'd like to share the topic with these guys, and we have this awesome argument. Alright guys, shall we begin, yeah? So that's the intro.
Can you move over?
Oh, yeah. So...
Oh, yes, sir.
What comes in your mind when I mention that I got arranged marriage and I'm shocked and everything?
That you're shocked is understandable because in your circumstances, so out of nowhere. But arranged marriage as a whole isn't as bad as people seem to make it be. It's just a lack of understanding and stuff like that. Like in some countries, girls and guys are forced out of their homes to marry like who their parents pick, like spontaneously. which I guess is kind of what's happening with you, but you have a bit more freedom, I guess. I mean, some countries, like a lot of countries, they're just completely thrown into the deep end and said, you know, you're marrying this guy, you need to grow up and stuff like that. And that obviously is very turbulent for their mental health and all that, which, you know, causes deterioration of them, makes a lot of stress and all that. And I think that's where a lot of the misunderstandings come from, because there's such a bad stigma with it. But I don't think it's as bad as it seems if it's in the right avenues, in the right circumstances and all that sort of stuff. But for you, yeah, it definitely sounds like a very stressing place to be, because, you know, just out of nowhere they're like, look, Will, you're getting married with this girl, we've held on to this long and all that. It's behind your back and all that, especially that's a little bit daunting.
Yeah, like after, you know, I'm 26 now, and the reason why I'm even more stressed out is because I haven't even get my life sorted. Like, I'm a high school dropout, I suffer mental health, I wasn't as intelligent, I don't make money, and now I'm studying with these guys. I got like 4 years journey or 5 years journey, and to know that at the age of 31, I'll be finished studying. And as soon as I mentioned to these guys that I'm gonna I got arranged marriage, and then Maine came up and said to me, "Are you thinking deeply? Please explain to me, like, what do you mean, like, a lot more about that?"
The first time when you told us on the group chat that you're going back to China and you got an arranged marriage, I was a bit excited for you, man. Like, Will, there's some girl there, you know, like, you're gonna get married to you, you're gonna have a kid, and to have another little funny kid like you, that would be crazy, man. You know, be good. But then I thought of it like, you know, you don't support the idea of marriage.
Yeah, you guys know, like, my whole classmate knows that. I'm not supportive of marriage. But we get to that later.
Yeah, and then, you know, the story got a bit like in a trigger, you know, because he told me she's your cousin somehow.
Yeah, I was like, I was like, whoa, okay.
She was adopted into your family. Even though she's not your blood, she's still your family, you know? And to me, I found that a bit strange, because of my culture, we don't do it like that, you know? When somebody's your family, that's your family. You can't get married to them or can't do anything.
Even though she has the title of cousin.
Yes, as long as she's a member of the family, as long as you guys sit on the table as a family and eat, you know, you guys are family. You can't even do anything, you can't even eye contact her in a different way. You can just talk to her as a family, but you can't do anything to her. So when I heard that, you know, you got arranged marriage with this girl, you know, at the start I was excited for you, and then I pulled back a bit, you know, because she's your cousin. I'm like, what? Because I found it a bit strange, you know. But all I can say to you is, like, you know, you just sometimes, man, you just gotta follow where your heart wants, you know.
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
You gotta follow where your heart wants. If you don't want to get married, you don't want to bring a man or whatever, a kid to this world. That's your decision, and I respect that, you know, because you know your circumstances, you know what your life is like. Because
when I finish uni at the age of 30 or 31, I'll be probably finished paying off HECS, which is the student loan, the money for the course, probably at the age of 35. If I'm lucky enough to pay off 35.
Yeah.
So I'm at the age of 35, I have zero, literally zero. And yeah, that's why it's freaking me out, because I'm 26 now. Everyone says, you know, late 20s to your mid 30s is your prime year of the marriage years. That's what most people say, right?
What's the
mid 20s to your mid 30s.
Yes.
Is your prime marriage. Sorry for saying the late 20s, but the mids are usually the prime. And the reason why my aunt once mentioned that last week is because she knows my circumstance. She knows I got a bad back and everything, and she knows that I'll struggle a lot more if there's no one besides me in the future on.
Like, to finish my point, I don't support the idea of arranged marriage, because I reckon, like, arranged marriage should be back then, you know, like in ancient time, not like now in modern time. You know, I reckon now it's reasonable to fall in love with a girl, you know.
What if that person says they want to get arranged?
That person, but the thing, that person can say that, but for you, you know, you don't like that person, or you don't have any connection with that person in a certain way, you can't just force yourself into it, you know.
You shouldn't force yourself.
So For example, me, my mom come to me and be like, man, I gotta go in Africa, specifically Kenya or Uganda or Sudan to get married to you. I'm gonna tell her no. She's my mom.
What if you meet her and she's like a really...
Yeah, you better get to meet her and get to know her for a short period of time or a long time. You better get to know her for like 2 years or a year and know what kind of person she is. And I know that person, if we start a family, we can, build a family together. Yeah, definitely, I'll get married to her. But if she's just like a temporary person that my mom just want me to get married to,
Yeah, that's not... Yeah.
nah, man, that's not the way to go. Yeah, so with you, Will, you just gotta think deep, you gotta ask yourself questions,
Could you think maybe your family doing this is kind of their way of saying that they really want you to get married? Just because they put her in the picture doesn't mean you have to get married to her.
But look up, like how we just mentioned about how we have like back problems, you show that your auntie will care about you, and she wants you to be able to have somebody there to support you later on, if any major issue happen to you, because you never know, like injuries, they can come back and haunt you, Yeah. So it shows that your auntie, she care about you, that's why she wants you to have a partner. But what if you go to your auntie and be like, I like the idea that, you want me to get married to someone, but...
Looking after for the long term, and everything, supportive.
But just tell her the reason why you don't want to, get married to this girl, And tell your auntie, I'll get married one day, but not now. And this is the reason why I don't want to get married to her. I want to be able to fix myself because I'm doing that self-development at the moment, which means like I'm at school, and I want to be able to have a good job to be able to support my family later on when I have a family. I'm sure your auntie will be able to understand that.
Yeah, but right now she's trying to make a way of being pushy at the moment, saying that, well, I have to finish the complete story of the intro, is that when I first met her, only one day, she was 17, I was 22, that was 2012. Now she mentioned this story, now she's probably 21 or 22. Is she old enough, mature enough to know this? I know it sounds a bit stupid for me to say this, but I think that to know to stay with someone the rest of your life. I know she's been brought up in the old traditional way. Family members have been telling me that they've been declining all the boys that have been chasing her, saying that no to any of those boyfriends only for William, unless William, that's my name, William to give you an answer, say yes or no. So I'm at that stage saying that she's 21 now, she can't date anyone until it comes to me. So if I finish my uni until 31 or 30, she finished her uni next year, and she has to wait for another 3 years. And my aunt and my dad, I had a dad who called me yesterday, is that if there's a girl opportunity and you let her go away like that, most likely she'll go to seek another guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's the thing, that even though I'm so against marriage, the whole idea, there's the pushiness behind. So let's just say if I don't marry this chick next year or a year and a half, that opportunity will go to some other guy. And the only information I got from this girl, I don't have her picture, I don't have her name.
Yeah, if you had that stuff, that would be...
Sorry guys, oh man. But what I heard is that she's smart, intelligent, and she's a good looking girl. And a lot of Chinese people said she has a good facial...
Can she send you because they don't have social media there. So
I can ask for it, but...
Yeah, ask for it, right?
The thing is that...
You know how you mentioned, if she's grown enough to be able to be married to someone, in my point of view, I reckon she's, because like a girl that can protect herself from other boys, I'm pretty sure she knows what it is, to be with someone.
Yeah. That's pretty, to dedicate herself that much to someone she doesn't even know, that's pretty...
No, it's not her dedicated. It's my aunt forcing her, no boyfriend. It's cutting her. Oh, by the way, the mother's not in the scene, she's adopted, and the story behind... I don't want to get too much story with the girl because it's unfair to tell all her stories, because all the story I know is my uncle is looking after this girl, the mother's not in the picture. So all I can say is that this girl is going through the same journey as me, like coming from a broken family, and being sold. So this girl, she's been sold to my grand-uncle. So it's a normal thing. So because if you're gonna adopt, if you're gonna have a kid, you have to buy a kid in China.
Oh, it's like a movie.